We have a number of client meetings, also like to see what's going on in the industry. Not to mention the fact that my wife is the global CMO of FCB and is also here, so it's nice for us to travel together.
Those seem like two fabulous reasons to me. So tell us about Nielsen the last year. What's changed? Obviously, because you've been coming to Cannes for a long time, but my sense is the pace of change in the industry is not slowing.
Not at all.
What have you guys been up to?
I would say that's the one constant that I've encountered at Nielsen, and it's always positive change. So I think the biggest change is sort of the way in which we're organized. Right now there's a focus on AI, cloud technology, and creating platforms rather than standalone sort of point solutions. And the reason for that is to be able to provide a metrics or monetization capability for both media sellers and media buyers, where you can have a foundation of comparable metrics. And that's the phrase that we've been using, metrics to monetize, because if you're chasing an audience, but the definition that one platform is using is very different from the definition that another platform is using, are you getting like for like? So having a foundation of comparable metrics across those platforms is critically important to answer questions like how many people saw my content or ad, how frequently did they see my content or ad, and how long did they engage with it.
That's fascinating. So people probably know Nielsen best as a data and measurement company. Does that mean you're having to become a technology company as well?
Absolutely, and I think the reason is because the rate and pace of change is just so rapid. And in order to manage the volumes of data that we're talking about, it's incredibly important. Nielsen's building the future of our capability on technology innovation, big data, connected to panel data of real people who've opted in. So from a trust and privacy standpoint, that's always has been and always will be foundational.
And privacy, we're inevitably going to be talking about at Cannes this year a lot.
Right.
Tell us about the landscape. What's your sense of it? It's very uneven, would be a polite way of describing it.
I think right now it tends to be a little self-serving. People talk about privacy in ways that they are either compliant with or they wish the industry was going. I think the reality is that consumers are probably more aware and more concerned about how their data is being used, both for content and advertising, and to fuel the industry. And so a company like Nielsen that's always had privacy baked in from the very beginning is, I think, a competitive advantage.
Now, you obviously work with an incredible range of clients.
Yes.
Do you find they're all moving at the same speed, or are some of them pulling you after them, or are you having to push out some of these capabilities?
You know, it's a mixed bag. I think there are large organizations that have sort of taken the lead and are pulling the industry with them. There are others that are very familiar and very comfortable, quite frankly, with the way the business has always been managed. And so it's a mix of both. I think there are clients that are asking us to move faster, but Nielsen doesn't decide the currency, the industry does. So we can develop the capability, but until those laggards are willing to come to the table and move forward, it's difficult to implement change.
So tell us a bit about your interactions with clients. What kind of needs are they looking to you to help them address?
So whether
the state of the art?
Whether it's an advertiser or an agency, there are three things traditionally that come up. They're very focused on audience-based buying and planning, which means a variety of data sources that need to be able to be stitched together to identify those audiences of interest. The next is cross-platform measurement. So when I've found an audience, how do I find them across the ecosystem, and then how do I measure performance against that? And then the last one is return on ad spend. Am I getting the value for the advertising that I'm placing and where I'm placing it? And those three things, whether you're advertiser or agency, are top three priorities.
So given all of this explosion of activity, what's your vision of the future of panel-based measurement in this market? Obviously, Nielsen provides a range of different data sets and sources, and panels are one of those key sources. How's the role of the panel changing in your view?
Panels at Nielsen are being used, and I think will continue to be used as sort of a source of truth. When you're looking at big data sets can have a lot of noise or bias in them, whether intentional or not. You look at return path data from set-top boxes, it's as good as the footprint of the provider of that capability or that service. You look at various platforms that are selling, for example, auto intenders. Well, are they identified in the same way as the same criteria defining those audiences? That's difficult when you're looking at just big data. The panel gives you very specific information from people who've opted into being measured across all of the devices that they use. That then becomes a truth set, if you will, to calibrate big data sets and get to actual reality.
And I guess a sort of final quick question to close on. When you think about the 2020s, and here we are, the dawn of a new decade, what kind of innovations do you envisage in the next 3 to 5 years?
Wow,
What are the things
the big one that I'm really excited about is addressable TV and linear. So, being able to dynamically insert ads based on the audience that you're chasing, and being able to do that in real time through a variety of devices. And obviously, smart TVs are critical to being able to do that.
And obviously Nielsen has a new business unit focused on that area.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a bit about what they're doing?
So there's some pilots that have been going on using ACR technology and looking at being able to dynamically insert ads within a particular pod. We have advanced audience forecasting and posting tools, but that's traditionally just within the 2-minute avails for addressable. This opens up all of the commercial pods available for dynamic insertion.
Dave, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.